Electricity Market Design of the Future. Contribution by Paul de Wit. The future market model. What are the requirements? It should be market-based. This will lead to the highest welfare for society. It should be customer-centric, otherwise there is no buy-in from the customer. It should be green. It should be sustainable and environment-friendly. It should lead to CO2 reduction in the most cost-efficient way. It should be extremely simple. This way it's easy to automate. The model. The system consists of consumers and producers. Let's call them prosumers. In this model there are three market parties or roles. 1. Prosumer, consumer or producer which are connected to the grid. 2. Supplier, a trading company who buys and sells electricity from prosumers. 3. System operator. This can be a transmission system operator or a distribution system operator. The prosumer who is connected to the grid is responsible for his own physical balance of production and consumption. The supplier buys and sells electricity from the prosumers. He can also take over the risk of a consumer to consume more than he has bought, like today's balancing responsible parties. The system operator keeps the grid stable. For example, he keeps the frequency of 50 Hz within a certain bandwidth. Every prosumer can determine his own allocated volumes of electricity. This is done by creating a transaction per 15 minutes specifying how much electricity he has bought or sold and from whom. The counterparty must always confirm this transaction. Electricity which is not covered by a transaction is sold or bought from the system operator. This applies to prosumers and suppliers. There is an EU tax on CO2 emissions. This way, energy produced with CO2 emissions is more expensive than energy produced without CO2 emissions. The tax is relatively high. But how should it work? Every connection is metered with a smart meter. The prosumer must buy the energy which he consumed per 15 minutes and he must sell the electricity he produced per 15 minutes. A prosumer can buy or sell from other prosumers or from a trading company, a supplier. Per 15 minutes, a prosumer can buy or sell to as many parties as he likes. It can work like today. In this example, all the measured electricity is bought from and sold to one supplier. Every day, the supplier confirms the transactions which are created by the prosumer and are based on the measured electricity from his smart meter. The prosumer doesn't have to do anything. Everything is taken care for him automatically. The prosumer has no risks anymore. But the prosumer can do more. Let's assume the prosumer is part of an energy collective. First, the collective shares all their produced electricity. The rest is completed by a supplier. So how should this look like per connection? First, the collective shares all their produced electricity. The rest is completed by a supplier. The prosumer can do even more. Again, the first collective shares all their produced electricity. Secondly, the prosumer buys blocks of wind power for the evening and the night. The rest is completed by a supplier, like today, as a balanced responsible party. First, the collective shares all their produced electricity. Secondly, the prosumer buys blocks of wind power for the evening and the night. The rest is completed by a supplier, like today, as a balanced responsible party. The details. The system operator buys physical production or reduction in his system from prosumers to balance the system. The system operator can also buy energy in a specific region to prevent the congestion. The system operator only buys on the public marketplace. This way, anyone can participate on a level playing field. After each day, every prosumer gets 14 days to specify all the buys and sells for a specific day. There is one public marketplace, but more private marketplaces are also possible. After 14 days, the system operator settles the physical balance of every party. Electricity which is not covered by a transaction is sold or bought from the system operator. Buying and selling from the system operator is discouraged. It is expensive. The system operator is responsible for the grid losses. Interconnections between two grids can be operated by a private company or by a public company, joint venture between system operators. Private interconnections are seen as a normal connection at both sides. Transactions which buy electricity from neighboring grids using a public interconnection require a booking in advance. If the total booked capacity exceeds the physical capacity, the booking is rejected. What's the difference with today's market design? The difference is that the prosumer is allowed to specify his allocation or transactions. The allocation is not determined by the system operator, but by the prosumer. In this model, there is no day-ahead, intraday or balancing market. There is only one public market, and parties are allowed to trade wherever they want. Everyone can sell any service to anyone else. This does not depend on a market rule. The only obligation of a prosumer is to register himself on the connection and to specify his transactions regularly to the system operator. He can hire a market party to do this for him, like a supplier today. What are the advantages of this model? The proposed model is extremely simple and therefore very easy to automate and implement. Today's IT capabilities can make this possible. This was not possible in the past. A simple market model still leaves the option open for governments to execute their policies. For example, it is still possible to implement a tax on CO2 emissions. This model unlocks the maximum demand-side response capabilities and creates a level playing field for everyone. This model lays the foundation for all kinds of future developments. It's up to the market parties to come up with innovative solutions. Thanks for your attention.